The idea that social media is killing the way that humans communicate is inherently wrong, and I would argue that creating content for social media is one of the best ways to become a better communicator, storyteller, and build new skills that will positively affect your career. Here's why. This is Emmy Raine Curtis.
Hey everyone.
A third-year U of T student, story editor for Sportscenter, and most recently led the media operations for Team Canada at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. She says TikTok taught her a lot of the skills that she actually uses in her career.
Putting together content and video editing is really a big skill that I've learned from TikTok specifically.
In this interview, I sat down with Emmy to talk about her journey through TikTok, how she's paving a way for women in sports, how she's worked with brands like Adidas and TikTok North America, as well as why athletes should start creating content and building an audience online today. But first, a message from this series sponsor, FireWork. FireWork is an NIL marketplace that brings like-minded athletes and brands together to form dream partnerships and marketing campaigns. Did you know that athletes drive 3 times more engagement in sponsored content than traditional influencers? Just like Undressed in Jersey, FireWork was started to shine a light on athletes and bring their wonderful personalities to the forefront. FireWork has athletes earning 2 times more from sponsorships after sign up and drives positive ROI campaigns for brands by connecting you with the right partners. Find your dream partnership by visiting the link at the top of the description of this video and head to www.thefirework.app to create a free profile today. Now, back to the episode.
TikTok was never a plan of mine, actually. It was one of those things that I actually downloaded as a joke at first. It wasn't a big deal. It was like all my buddies were getting into it. It was this new kind of app. And I was like, okay, like we'll have some fun with it. And then pretty quick, I started gaining some traction on my account. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like overnight, I got like quite a few thousand followers. And I was like, I could really use this to my advantage. I've always known I wanted to be a sports reporter. And so in my mind, I was like, if I make this account like dedicated towards my career and have them kind of follow me along on my journey, and I can like give them some tips anytime I can. That was kind of how it started. And I think that's also part of it, is just I don't know what my future looks like, and I do try to share that with the people who do follow me. I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing either. Like this is just a day-by-day thing, and I'm kind of just winging it, but it's kind of going in a good direction.
That's how it goes. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm trying to share with this creator economy series, is that content can bring so many opportunities to you. Like this is a new path for a lot of people that can bring opportunities to you. And people are like, well, what opportunities is it going to bring? That's the thing. You don't know until you start going on that journey. And I think you're a perfect example for that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, now that I am here and like where my account is now, I've been on, I have to say, I think it's been 7 or 8 podcasts. Jeez. Which is crazy to me, because my page is all on my end. For me, sure, it's really about networking. But I've had brands reach out now. Like this is actually like, this is new news here. I just got a message from Adidas the other day, and they said, we just love that you're putting out positive content. WNBA playoffs, we're kicking off. They're like, we've got to send you some stuff. We love you as a creator. And never in my mind would I ever think that Adidas would reach out to me, a little girl from Abbotsford, British Columbia, who was just sharing her passion with other people.
Right. So, and that's the opportunity that can come from creating content.
That's the thing though, like you are creating a name for yourself. Like it's so big. Like I was doing street interviews because I'm a student, and that's part of my program. I had to go do some street interviews at TIFF, and it doesn't happen to me very often, but this girl like ran up to me and she's like, oh my gosh, like you're the sports girl on TikTok. Like, can I get your picture? Like, I want your autograph. And I was like, girl, like, whoa, like this is crazy. Right. I'm supposed to be interviewing the celebrities, like not the other way around.
That's right. And I don't know if you've experienced it. Did that moment specifically make you feel like that's not who I am? It's not how I see myself. I'm just like a small creator, whatever. Don't treat me like imposter syndrome. Do you feel that at all?
You know what? I don't actually. I don't feel like that, because the community that I think just my page in particular is so niche, and it's such a specific target audience that it's really just a community. And I know it's social media is social media. I am not the exact person that I am on my TikTok account. Like, and I never will be. It's impossible to be your true 100% authentic self when it's not one-on-one. So these opportunities I get to meet these girls, I'd rather, most of the time it is girls, because that's kind of my niche, but to meet them is really incredible. And I have that opportunity to connect and have that one-on-one conversation so that they can realize like who my true authentic self is. And then the TikTok is like the side gig.
Now, like I said at the beginning of this episode, creating content for social media has the ability to teach you valuable skills that will extend far beyond just the internet. And even Emmy still finds herself drawing on the skills she learned through TikTok every single day. Take a look.
My end goal is on air. I'd love to work for the NFL. I'd love to work for Fox Sports. That is, Super Bowl, that's the end goal. Like that's my dream. I'd also love to have my own show. Like Krista Thompson does pregame on Fox for the NFL. And I was just like, that's like a huge dream of mine. But I'm also very open. Like I just love sports and I just love this job. And so if that means that I'm gonna do a desk job and be an anchor, yeah, by all means, I'll take it for sure.
And so what do you currently do at Sportscenter?
Yeah, so at Sportscenter, I'm a story editor. I just finished up my internship there, which was super great. Great learning opportunity, great to connect with people who work in the industry. But I put together Sportscenter. So I put together the highlight packages. So like a typical day at work for me would to be, I'd go into work and check my email, see what game I've been given for the day, watch the game, clip the game, put a script together, put the pack together, and then it runs on SportsCenter. That's my job. How cool is that? Like, how lucky am I?
It's incredible. Like you get to watch sports and you get to create content, and then you get to see that content be viewed by hundreds of thousands of millions of people on live TV. Like
it really is. The first time, and this is a crazy story too. The first time one of my packages went live on air, I like got home and SportsCenter plays twice at night, sometimes, some days of the week. And it had gone live on air and I got to watch that in the studio and it was super cool. But then I got home and I looked out my apartment window and you can see into the apartment across from me. And there's this man he's got a massive TV and he's always watching TSN. And I just got to watch my pack play through my apartment window. And that was the first time it hit me that I was like, whoa.
Did you find that you learned any of the skills that you use in your SportsCenter job from creating TikToks?
Video editing, like putting together a piece of content, truthfully, because I did TikTok before I did SportsCenter. And so learning on TikTok how to put together, especially like when I've done brand deals in the past, they want certain things sometimes. And so you have to put that content together in a way that other people expect you to put it together. And so that's very similar with SportsCenter is I have freedom, but I have to follow the guidelines, right? Because without kind of guidelines and rules, there's no consistency.
Sure.
And so I think it's kind of broad, but just putting together content and video editing is really a big skill that I've learned from TikTok specifically.
I would agree. And I think it has a lot to do with storytelling. Is that when I first started posting on Tristen Ross's TikTok, I was just doing what everyone else was doing. I was doing trends. I was trying, I remember doing the 2C slide during quarantine to Drake's song. Like, that was one of my first TikToks.
Oh my gosh.
Then I went from, okay, maybe let's get a little more personal and, start to tell my story as a former athlete and a student and why I moved to Toronto and I was just speaking to the camera. Great. I realized that those two style of videos were getting very little engagement. I wasn't getting any virality. I wasn't getting like a huge follower growth and stuff until I started actually studying what successful performing content is. And you can boil it down to just your ability to tell an engaging and attention capturing story. And just through that progression, if I look back to 2020, the amount of skills that I've learned simply by posting things on TikTok far extends the creator economy, far extends building a social media account. I would think that it's no different that like in Sportscenter, you have to tell a story. You said that you write scripts for the on-air personalities.
Yeah. Any pack that you watch on SportsCenter is written by story editors, and the broadcasters just they have that natural talent and that ability to say that script on air. This is what I'm learning right now in university. Is one of my classes is literally mobile journalism, like what we can do on these phones. And it's crazy. My professor is like, you have no idea the future of news, the future of sports, the future of everything is on these cellular devices. Like I was showed a full documentary that was shot on an iPhone. And it's crazy to see that, because we're going towards this very social media based news coverage. And it's not, it went from the newspaper and then it went to watching news on TV. Well, what's next? Well, it's social media. It is.
And what that does is it allows anyone to be a leader or share. Like in the past, if you didn't work at SportsCenter, you wouldn't have an impact on what was being shared, right? And so now social media has allowed, in the phone, has allowed anyone to press record and publish it and have the ability to be seen by millions of people.
Totally. The other thing with that too is that, they have these algorithms, right? And so the content you get is personalized for you. And so that's the other thing that you get to kind of take advantage of as a brand.
In the new age of social media with the ability to be discovered, I would argue that followers has no impact on the performance of your content, because with this new algorithm and the discoverability, it's now turned social media into a meritocracy, where it's like, if your content is good, it's good. And people are in the algorithm's going to favor that, and people are going to see it because it's actual of substance. You're providing value, you're creating a community and whatnot. Where in the past, it used to be like, okay, if you had 5,000 followers, 4,000 would see that content. That's no longer the case.
My following count is never my number one priority. I'm more about being a safe space, a space where you can come and you can feel motivated and you can take some tips. And I like the fact, people always ask me, they're like, does you being so young in your career scare you sometimes? And I'm like, it actually doesn't, because I'm just like, I honestly am just learning. I'm just starting. And, I just like the fact that other young people can watch my content and go, oh my gosh, we're the same age. I can do that too. But I did start it off as it was just for fun. But then it did hit that point where I was like, this is cool. Like, this is fun. I can tell a story and I can share my story.
Right.
And that's really where it started.
Something I also wanted to get out of this episode is the current state of women in sports. Like Emmy said, one of her main messages is to simply inspire other girls that they can achieve whatever it is they want, regardless of who they are or where they come from.
It's been very positive. And so I think that's what I try to get across in my TikToks, is that, like, I'm a woman and I'm having an awesome time in the sports industry. And I know, like, a lot of women are scared to chase after careers that are, some people call them unrealistic, whatever your word is, whether they're like overly challenging or male dominated, whatever it is. My thing is just like, I just happen to be having a really great time as a woman in this industry. And you can too, is more what I like to push out. I don't like to really push out the fact that, it's male dominated and, women need to take it over. That's not the point of my TikTok. It's just, I just like to know, I like to share to other women that, chase after your dreams, girl, like, do your thing. That's what I'm all here for, is don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. And that's kind of the main goal, is to, it doesn't even have to be sports either. It's just, I like to really share the fact that just chase after your career. That's the main emphasis for
right.
me.
And as long as you have the passion or the knowledge or the skill, it shouldn't matter whether or not you're white, brown, black, if you're a female, if you're a male. If you got it, you got it.
Absolutely. That absolutely sums it up perfectly. I think the industry is really changing. It really is. Going into a more positive direction every single day, and that's what we're here for. Um, but it is scary being, we're not the first to be doing this. There's tons of women who have already paved the way previously, but it's still something that's growing. And anytime you have to confront something new for anyone, that's scary. It is. And, I'm really lucky to have a lot of incredible female role models, including my mom, which is huge. I think that's a huge thing for me is she always had leadership positions in work. And so that really showed me that, oh, I can be whoever I want to be, and I can have a leadership role if I want to. Also, when you just don't see a lot of people who are like you, like I do walk into the TSN office on a daily basis and usually don't see any other girls or a few other girls behind the scenes. Lots of anchors now, reporters now, female. But when you go behind the scenes, it's actually crazy how the difference in the like men to woman ratio. But everyone I work with is really great. Like I've never felt uncomfortable at work or anything like that. None of that. It's just sometimes you're like, oh, like I'd love to, gossip with a girl once in a while.
Correct. I think it stems to representation in the industry. Another great interview as part of this series was with Savannah Hamilton, who's a Raptors sideline reporter and MLSE. She shares a lot of similarities as you do, which is fun for me to kind of see the same narrative in different positions. So again, for people watching this, go check out the interview with Savannah Hamilton as well. She's big on TikTok too.
Yeah, she's great. Love her. Go check that out.
I was on your TikTok quickly before this, which for me, I don't know if that creates anxiety for you when someone says, yo, I was looking at your TikTok, because I'm like, damn, that's kind of cringy for like me. But anyway, one of the TikToks I saw, which I thought was just some boss girl shit, was you were like you're envisioning pulling up in the back of the arena in an all blacked out, like fancy car, suited up, sunglasses on, in front of all the men, walking by them without saying a word. To unpack that for me, why is that something you dream of?
I think like that, I think is the biggest TikTok I have on my account. I think it has like over 1 million views. For me, I think the reason why I have been doing okay in my career so far is because I'm a huge, like, I love to manifest these things. I think I'm just always I'm a huge visualizer. And honestly, sometimes it's not realistic what I visualize. Like it's not, but in my brain, I visualize where I want to get to. And I don't know, I've been using that in my content a little bit like that. And it seems to be working. Like people love those ones where I like set a scene and I kind of share the story about what I visualize in my mind. And I think maybe it helps inspire people. I don't know where it comes from. It's just these things I think of and dream of. And
sure.
I mean, that one is just some like badass woman stuff.
Correct. Which is great. I think it's empowering. I think it lights a fire of like healthy competition for you, but also the people that are watching that. But it also it kind of paints you as a picture of like, yo, I'm going for this. I don't care what anyone thinks of me. I know I have it, so I'm just going to show up and I'm not going to worry about what anyone else thinks. And what that does is that positions you as a leader in this space, and which is why you can create a community from it. People are going to follow you because of that. So if you're an athlete listening to this right now, I'll leave you with this idea for why you should start creating content and building an audience online.
Two things that jump into my mind immediately is like, if you're an athlete and it's kind of like my profession as well, just creating that personal brand really is just number one. And because we were talking about the opportunities it can get you are honestly unreal and have really put me ahead in terms of my career. So that's a big thing, is just creating that personal brand.
If athletes learn how to create content and tell stories, even from their days as a player, whether they're currently a player, even their bus rides, the lessons that you learn as an athlete, developing the skills to share those stories on platforms like TikTok, Instagram can do wonders for your career, even, you know, not even just attracting sponsorships to help pay for your university, but like even the connections that you'll meet. Emmy's a wonderful example of that, of how creating content on TikTok has opened up opportunities, meeting certain people that helps her get into rooms. It's been phenomenal. Emmy, this has been an amazing opportunity just for me to meet you, to see behind the scenes. And I'm super excited to follow your journey from here on out.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I was so hyped when you were like, hey, you want to come on the podcast? I was like, yes,
Let's
been
go.
waiting for this.
And that's another thing. It's like saying yes to these opportunities. Like creating content can be scary. You're putting yourself out there to be judged in your friends' DMs behind your back, roasting you, all that kind of stuff. Just before this, I was on a call with one of my friends who is a content creator. He's on Big Brother. He was like, yo, I'm thinking of doing like some street interviews on Toronto. Like, do you want to be a part of it? And I'm like, deep down, like that terrifies me. But yes, you got to say yes, because if you don't say yes, you don't allow the opportunities you don't allow yourself the chance to grab an opportunity that may come from it. So with that being said, we're signing off. This was The Athlete Creator. Emmy, thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one.